we want to start talking about goal setting, the art of goal setting. Okay. I can assure you that the presentation will be so balanced, and it will be well balanced in such a way that it will capture goal setting at different levels. So it will have goal setting at individual levels and also at corporate levels. We will not forget that we are being trained as managers that are going to run different companies. And so for that very reason, we want to talk about goal setting at different levels. Mainly, we will try to make the conversation so relevant to all of us by ensuring that we will speak even loudly when it comes to personal personal art of goal setting as well. So it will be well balanced, and I welcome all of you to the conversation. Please feel comfortable. I will make a presentation, and after making a presentation, I will have time to I'll open the conversation for questions. And so people will ask their own questions. So in the meantime, I can just allow the class, I can just ask for someone to confirm from the class if at all you are able to hear me and you can see the screen that I am trying to scribble something on. Are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay. I will run you through the art of goal setting, the steps that are involved in goal setting. Okay. Where am I getting this information that I'm sharing with you this evening? You know, the information is coming from a lot of literature. Okay. I would say it is coming from a lot of books that I have read in goal setting, that I have read a lot of books, a lot of biographies of different people that I have read and followed, including those that like looking at things from the academic standpoint. We have ensured that most of the recommended books in strategic management around goal settings have been consulted. And out of all these conversations I've had, and out of all these books that I have read and the literature that I have consulted, I have come and I want to present this short conversation, the art of goal setting. And the following are the steps that are involved. There are actually 12 steps that are involved in goal setting that we have that I have managed to gather from different literature and from different people that I have managed to conversate with. So step number one, it is clarity. Okay, it is clarity. Very important. On clarity, what is there here? As a good manager, both of your personal life and of an organization, you will need to decide exactly what you want in each area of your own life, that is at personal level, or in each area of your business, that is at corporate level. Okay, so you will have to imagine, first of all, if you never had any limitations, what would the following areas of your business look like without thinking about the resources to start with? That's goal setting number one. The areas, let me start from corporate level. Marketing. In the areas of marketing, okay, you're running a business. You will ask yourself the question, how large or how small, will be my area, would be our market share if at all we never had any limitation? How big would be the market share? How many locations were we going to have if we never had any limitations? Okay. How many number of sales are we going to be making, or would we have been making if we never had any limitations. You will have to have the clarity on in terms of finance as well. How, at what level would be our financial level in terms of human resource, in terms of operations and technology, and in terms of leadership as well. In all the areas, you have to think widely in all those areas and establish exactly, have the clear picture. Fantasize. At first point, do not worry about all the limitations, because this is not at this point where you're forming the strategy. No, you're not forming a strategy here. You are just writing, okay? So that is the first step. This is at corporate level, but at individual level as well, it is very important. You can still apply this point of clarity, right? You can decide, exactly what you would want your life to look like in terms of your levels of income that you earn. How much would you want to be earning if everything were fine? If you never had a lot of limitations, right? How would you want your family to be? Okay, if you never had those limitations, don't worry about limitations. The health, okay? How would you want your health to be? Your net worth, okay? Your level of education, your levels of education. Which levels, at what level would you feel satisfied? You say, okay, at this level, I'm okay, I'm better, okay? You can also engage and think about your spiritual life as well. This is at individual level, okay? You can think, you see your life, how you would want it to be. You clarify in all these areas. Clarity, have it clear and make it very much clear, okay? Picking maybe, let me say, is that a question? Okay. All right. Let's pick first of all, let's pick the income. In terms of maybe on the level of income, you would ask yourself and say, if everything were fine, how would my career be? What position would I be occupying in my business? How much would I be earning? How big would our business be? Okay, in terms of the relationships at individual level, how would be my relationship with my family and with everyone around? How would be my lifestyle? How would be my vacations, the children, and the places of residence? Where would I have been? Where would I be living this time around? So all those areas to be clarified as the first step. If you can have the clear picture, you can manage to make a good picture, both at personal level or at corporate level, then you would have made the first step that you have to undertake in goal setting. So the first step is clarity. Decide exactly what you want in each area of your business and in each area of your life. Okay. Let me just get confirmation. Is the class able to hear me? Anyone to confirm? Hello, are you all able to get me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for the confirmation. We have the second step in goal setting. We are learning the art of goal setting. Number 2, write down. Okay, write down. There are so many people that trust their heads, which is a good thing. You say, no, me, I can actually keep all the information in my head without writing. That's what many other people claim. But there is a connection that has been researched between the hand and the head. Immediately you think about it, okay, you can easily lose it if you do not write it. But the moment you bring it down on paper, you write it down, then you are more than 60% going to do what? To manage and make it physical, make it reality, make it a reality, or make it real. So write down. That is the second step. Don't just be a manager who puts things in the head and say, okay, it's fine. Write down. That's why you need to buy diaries. You need to have diaries. You need to have somewhere to write down. Okay. And the goals have to be written so clearly. Now, on the part of writing, just on the part of writing, you may not have to write all the 100 goals that you want at that point. No, you may select maybe the 3 key important goals that are most impactful to your life. That is at individual level. Let me start, I'll be speaking like that. Let me start from individual level, then I'll lift it to the corporate level so that it's balanced. At individual level, okay, let's start by saying you should be able to identify some 3 goals, for example, in a year that you think those are bigger goals that you think once you manage those, they would have contributed so much to your own to your own life as an individual. Identify, because if you start chasing all the goals, there is a higher probability or the higher chance of you not managing to achieve your goals. You may lose all of them. But if you can just trim down and identify the 3 key ones, the top ones, and then you concentrate on them single-handedly, go on 1, go on 2, go on 3, and put all your energy towards those few, actually, you are most likely to achieve them. The goals should be written in such a way that they have to be so clear. They should be very specific, okay? They should be very measurable. They should be very attainable, realistic, and timely bounded. I'll comment on this part. They have to be very specific when you write down. And the power of writing makes, I don't know what writing does. Even if you had all this thought that was not very clear, once you resort or you want to write it down, you know what will happen? Once you want to write it down, it just becomes clear. It gets clearer as you get your pen to wanting to write it down. So write it down clearly, specifying exactly what you want. That's why on the part of specific, your goal should not be, it should not be that goal that is not specific, that can't even be measured. For example, say, I want to be happy. What KPIs, the key performance indicators, are you going to use if your goals are just that open-ended, that those that you cannot even manage to measure? For example, you say, no, I want to be rich. What do you really mean by being rich? So you should be able to write your goal in such a way that there should be some key indicators to help you that you are drawing closer to your goals. The goals must be written so clearly such that even a 6-year-old child must be able to understand and manage to explain the same goal to another 6-year-old child and should be able to understand. Do not complicate things. Because once it is very clear and vividly clear, then that is how easy it will become in terms of pursuing. That was the point on writing down at individual level. Lifting it a bit to corporate level, since we are talking about strategic management at corporations, it is very important as you are managing these corporations or these giant businesses that you are going to be managing or that you are managing, to write down these goals. Obviously, it's obvious that you have to write down the goals of those bigger organizations that you have. Don't keep them in your mind. Write them down and let them be very much clear. And then you will see that you will be a very good manager, because it will be easy even for you to engage your team. At this point around, I have delivered the 2 points or the 2 steps that are involved in goal setting. Before I move on to the third stage, let me just get confirmation once more if you are able to hear me. Madam Shinza, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. We continue to the third step, and you're writing down these steps. You have a book somewhere. It was out of a very holistic research that has been conducted. Set a deadline. Okay, that is the third step. Set a deadline. In a very smart goal, there is always a deadline. Actually, it is the third step that you need for you to achieve a goal or to set the smart goals. In goal setting, you need to set deadlines. You know, when you do not set the deadlines, most of the times the subconscious mind will become complacent and tell you, no matter how big or how small the goal is, it will tell you that don't worry, we will achieve this goal. Because when you don't write down the deadline, there is no agency that is being created in your mind. So your mind does not take this as a serious issue or any issue that is very urgent to you because you have not written it down. So your mind will tell you that you can pursue this any other time. Okay, that is, I'm starting every point at individual level so that we are not mixed up. Get it clear? So you have to set a deadline and set reasonable deadlines. Okay, set reasonable deadlines for bigger goals. There is nothing like unreasonable goals. We only have unreasonable deadlines. I repeat that point, you didn't get it. There is nothing like unreasonable goals. We just have unreasonable deadlines. Okay, set a reasonable deadline for your goal. For example, if your goal is very big, you can say, I want to achieve this goal in 10 years time or in 5 years time. Okay, it's 5 years goal. You want to achieve this in 5 years time. Then you can break down and make sub deadlines. Sub what? Sub deadlines. The sub deadlines are there to help you break down the large time period into small deadlines so that when it is time for you to break down that goal into small steps, you can manage to measure at each point. You know, these goals are so huge. When you look at them, you may get worried. And your mind exactly, once it looks at a bigger goals, your mind tells you that you cannot afford to do this. Once you set a deadline, you say, oh, by next year, 1 year from now, your mind will just shut down and tell you, you cannot manage to do this. But if you break down to some small deadlines, okay, then you are most likely to achieve your bigger and ultimate goal. So the skill that you need is to manage to break down that bigger goal into small goals so that you can manage to pursue those small sub goals that are coupled with sub deadlines. This is now highly applicable even at corporate level. Remember, my area of concern is corporate level. It is also applicable at corporate level or when you're dealing with the companies as well. You know, you have to set deadlines. That's why when I was talking about a strategic plan, if you remember, I talked about the issue of the deadline that is involved in setting a strategic plan. It can be a 3-year strategic plan, for example, a 3-year strategic plan, okay? It can be a 5-year strategic plan where you write down these objectives clearly that need to be pursued and need to be accomplished within 5 years or within 3 years or within 1 year. Okay, But most of the times you plan at corporate level, you plan in 3 years time, 4 years, 5 years time. Even at individual level, learn to start lengthening, thinking in the long run. As an individual, when you plan, you should be able to visualize your life 3 years from now. Where are you standing? 5 years from now, what would you want to accomplish? Things should be written down and pursue. We call those long-term goals. You can also have the short-term goals. The short-term goals are less than 1 year, both at corporate level, even at individual level. At individual level, you can plan, for example, for 2024. Have a plan, have plans, okay, have the goals that you want to achieve, maybe 3 major goals that you really know that they are so impactful to your life within 2024. Maybe instead of having 20 goals for 2024, why not bringing them down to only top 3, the most impactful ones, and chase those specifically. So write down the goals and set the what? The deadlines. And the deadlines must be reasonable enough. Okay. I get the confirmation if the class is able to hear me from Mr. Chituka. Are we together?
Yes, yeah, you're loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Step number 4. Identify the obstacles. Okay? Identify the obstacles. Identify the obstacles that you have to overcome to achieve your goal. Identify the obstacles that you have to overcome, for you to achieve your goal. Okay? Identify those obstacles. Because if you fail to identify the obstacles, then you are most likely to fail in achieving your goal. The principle of constraints states that there is at least one constraint. There is at least one constraint or one limitation to each goal that you are pursuing. So there is a limitation. So if you fail to identify, then that is the beginning of failing. As the wise person, one of the wise people said, and actually these are the words of Benjamin Franklin, not one of the wise. Let me cut. Benjamin Franklin said, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So it is very, very important and extremely important to you as a manager or as an individual to prepare, okay, and observe the obstacles, the hindrances. What do you think would be some of the hindrances, the constraints towards the goals that you are pursuing? You should sit down and just think around, do some analysis. What is it that is going to obstruct me from achieving this particular goal that I am setting? The 80-20 rule says, that was discovered by Andrew Koenig. He said 80% of those reasons as to why the obstacles are actually within the minds of those people who are pursuing the goals, and 20% are outside those people. What that simply means is that it starts with the mind. One, you have to have the conviction as a good manager, as a powerful manager, that these goals that we have set for our company, we are going to achieve them. Be enthusiastic, be very optimistic, and very positive about it. Then you'll be able to achieve them. Of course, it's very important that you look around and identify those objectives or those obstacles or those constraints. In that way, you will be proactive instead of being reactive to the situations. You will be proactive to the situations. That was step number 4 in goal setting. Step number 5, Step number 5 of goal setting. Step number 5 of goal setting says, let me write down this one clearly. Okay, I write down this. Step number 5. Oh, Mr. Chitoka has the hand up. Your hand has found recognition.
Yes, I have a question on step number 4.
Identifying the obstacles.
Yes. So does this information come from us doing an analysis, or how do you get these obstacles? Is it from like gathering the information, and then you do an analysis where we
Okay.
use spot, or where there are those weaknesses and all that? Is it the same?
Okay, thank you very much. A very good question. Exactly. When you are identifying the obstacles, those are your threats. What are the problems around? But these now, you are contextualizing them to a specific goal. So, for example, when you talk about a SWOT analysis, you are doing a SWOT analysis in relation to that specific goal. I think I should explain like this. To a specific objective, a specific goal, do a SWOT analysis. Do you have any strength that can help you to achieve that goal? Do you have any weaknesses? Are there any threats to that goal that can make that goal not come to pass? Does that help? Hello? Mr.
Yes,
Question?
it's clear.
Okay, thank you. Step number 5, identify the knowledge, information, and skills you will need to achieve your goal. So identify the knowledge. Can you identify the knowledge? Can you identify the skills and the information that you are going to need, that you will need to achieve your goal? Or your objective. Identify the knowledge, identify the skills and the information that you will need to achieve your goal. You see, in all those goals that you want to pursue, in each of them, I know there is some specific, peculiar, and important knowledge that you need. There are some skills that you may need. There could be some specific information that you need for you to achieve that goal. That is very important for you to do the identification. Know the knowledge that you need to know. What do you need to know for you to achieve that goal? What skills do you need, okay, to know? Because if you can do the identification of the knowledge, the skills, and the information, this will give you power as you are pursuing your goals. Because most of people, you set the goals, then you don't even know what the knowledge that you need that will help in acquisition of that goal. Then that's the beginning of folly still. Know the knowledge that you need, know the skills, and know the information that you will actually need. As you know that knowledge is very powerful, because actually, I would say so. This has been said. I am quoting the words of Professor David Swag, one of the profound strategists, very powerful, professor in strategic management. And he says, this is what he says about the issue of the information. You know, the amount of the information that you have actually as a manager, it will determine the height of your business. You have not heard this one. The amount of the information that you have actually will determine the height of the business. So you need the amount of the information, acquire as much information as the management. Because if the management doesn't know a lot of things, or is not well trained, doesn't know a lot of things, then that is how they will be limited in terms of knowing the things. It is true that the amount of knowledge that you have now does not guarantee you the success that you desire, which simply means you have to consistently keep improving yourself and learning, acquiring a lot of information. As it is, has always been said that leaders always read. Leaders read. As you are there in management, you need to read widely and be fully informed. The knowledge will be very important for you. Step number 6. Identify the people and the corporations you require to achieve your goal. Identify the people. Identify the people and the corporation, the people whose corporations you need for you to achieve your goal. At the individual levels, let me start from there. It is very important to know whose help would you need. Identify those people. Then at the corporate level now, since you are the strategist, as you are running those organizations, those companies, it's very important you know what other institutions do I need, okay, to be in touch with. What other institutions do we need so that we can manage to achieve this goal? Okay. What other partners do we need? What help do we need from the government? Okay. What people, what stakeholders, which directors do we need to contact, or directors of other companies, so that we can just push forward this particular goal? That is very, very important to learn. Number 7, make a list of everything you will have to do to achieve a goal. Make a list. It doesn't matter, like this is now we are coming towards the strategy. If you are following nicely, we are now coming towards the strategy. Make a list of what? Of everything that you need to do to achieve your goal. A list may not need to be logically organized. Just a list. Identify all the actions, whatever. Just list down everything. That's a step number 1. Okay. Then it is actually only step number 8 where you need to organize. Organize the lists, or this list, into a plan. You can now organize this list in order. Okay. You make a plan. After organizing this list into a plan, obviously, you make a plan. And once you make a plan, okay, make a plan, then you follow the plan that you have managed to make. That is on the part of the strategy now. So every minute spent in planning saves 10 minutes in execution. This has been said, and this is very profound. I need to repeat this point. It has been researched that every minute, 1 minute that you spend in planning, it saves 10 minutes in execution, which means that 10 minutes spent in planning saves 1 hour in execution. What that point means is that if you have spent time to organize everything and plan, it will help you, okay? It is going to help you actually as you are going to go now to do the actual work, which is the activity part of it, the execution. If you have not planned, you will spend so much time and you will be very slow. But if you have decided exactly, you have planned, you are very fast and you are very effective and very efficient. Plan each day, okay? Plan the week, weekly, plan monthly. You can plan yearly. The plans that you make, since I've talked about breaking down, those goals into yearly, have the major goal for the whole year. Break them down into months. What are you going to be doing per month? Can break them down to weekly. Per week, what do you need to achieve? Of course, everything should be aligned towards the major goal. Every day, what is it that we are going to do towards our major goal? Plan every day a night before. Plan every week at the beginning of the week, and plan every month at the beginning of the month. All the plans should be aligned to the major goals that you are pursuing, so that everything is just adding up and is coherent to the major goal. You will need to select. Okay, select. What are you selecting? The most important task. The most important task each day. This is called prioritizing. You will need, as a manager, remember now, management is in levels. Let me talk about this from corporate level. You see, management is in level. There is top level management, middle level management, lower level management. There is that operational level, okay, that do things every day. You have to break down that goal so that there is an activity for each day. And here the 80-20 rule states that at least you have to choose 20% of the activities that can yield 80% of the results. What that means is that you have to choose the activities or those activities that are those tasks that are very impactful to your major goal. Such that if you have a list of 10 things to do in a day, make sure that you organize them in such a way that you begin by the most important, the most impactful ones. Don't waste your energy. Every day, start with the most important. Even as you are managing your people, don't just say, oh, on the list we have these 10 things. Among the 10 things, let's reorder them in order. We start with when you still have a lot of energy, let's start with the most important thing, most important goal. Number 10, as we are running those particular organizations. And on number 11, then you can just encourage you to develop a habit of discipline, self-discipline. You concentrate on one thing at a time. You can be this manager who is not disciplined enough, who cannot manage to do one thing at a time. You want your people that you are managing to do a lot of things. They try to multitask. Multitasking is good, but when you concentrate single-handedly on one thing, you are even faster, you are more efficient, okay? But of course, there are some times when it is necessary for you to multitask. We are not saying you should not be multitasking. No, you can multitask, but multitask only when the need arises. But most of the times, put all the energy towards one thing, and then you will do that. And number lastly, do reviews. This is what people don't usually do. Reviewing. Review. Develop the idea of reviewing. Let's start from the daily activities. That's why as a manager, some people think when you become a manager, you have to be the first one to leave the office. No. Usually as a manager, you have got, especially if you are to operational level, you have got the activities that you had set for that day, that were set for that day. So review before the day ends. What had we planned to do today? What have we done? Okay? What have we done? Review. What have we done? What have we failed to do? Then you should find the reasons why have we failed to do that today, so that you can add it as part of the to-do list tomorrow. Okay? Review every day. Every day at the end of the day, review it. And preview the day in the evening. That's planning the day now. Once you review for today, you see how you have worked, then immediately you're done reviewing, then you can preview. Tomorrow, what are we going to do? Have a plan, and that you can even communicate to the supervisors down so that they already have a plan for tomorrow as again. Okay? You can review every week at the end of the week. Review the week. What did we plan to do this week? What have we done? What have we failed? Why have we failed? Is there a need of pushing it to the other week, these activities to the other week? Every month end, review the month. What did we plan to do this month? What have we failed? What are we going to do now next time? Can we push those activities to the other month as well? Plan that. Even the years. I'm sure this time around, since the year is coming to an end, I can guess that most of us are reviewing our years, right? People are reviewing their years. They're reviewing the past year, how it had been at individual level. You can review that. Even companies are reviewing the year. Okay, what had they planned? What did they set? Okay, what have they failed to achieve? What have they achieved? And at the same time, they are previewing 2024 by planning for it again, putting the activities for that very particular year.